It's Salas Lanani, and today I want to get practical with you and jump into some numbers of a deal I did last year in 2025 when I wanted to prove the world and prove my investors and my subscribers that there are still good deals to be made, even deals under $100,000, even that deal being directly in the center of Tbilisi. So to go on that mission, I went and I acquired myself a small deal. I call it small because it's under $100,000. I know many people around the world find that absurd, and they'd love to get themselves a property under $100,000 generating, I don't know, 8, 10%. It's just unreal to them. So we're gonna cover that because I want to show you that it's not too late. Let's go look at how it looked like. First of all, it was 33, well, let's say 34 square meters. And this was the condition when I bought it. I bought it only for $39,000. Of course, there's a lot of renovation to be done here. And this is in Freedom Square. So, the big roundabout with the gold horse, iconic one that played even in Fast and Furious, I believe 9 or 10, when they shot Tbilisi, that place. And this is how it looks like. It's a semi-basement. It has windows, 3 windows. The door is a window. There's a little ventilation window here. And then we have this one here. And we're going to go through the numbers. I know you guys don't just want theory. You want numbers. You want to see the action. And I thought I'd start off with explaining this deal. And if you watch till the very, very end, I've got a special surprise, a special gift for you. For those who watched till the end, they get the surprise. So let's continue. And that's that. You know what it looks like, right? Let's go and talk about the timeline for the renovation. I bought this in 2024, November, and we kind of just got it first and then demolished a bunch of stuff. The demolition only costed me around 650 gel. Then I got stopped, as you see, since December, the whole of January. There's no January here. We didn't do anything. That's because we were waiting for the design while also waiting for the electric counter. So when I bought this, they didn't have a counter. And to order an electrical counter, it takes 45 working days. So that delayed us for about 1 month, right? And so then February came. We got a temporary electrical cable. We wanted to start renovating. I think we got even a machine to come give us electricity. The ones that work with gas, but it was so noisy, neighbors complained. So we only used it very, very seldomly, very rarely, just to get the main job done. And this project went from February, March, April, May, June, longer than I expected. And May was a long month, a lot of expenses, till June. While I expected it to be done in like 3-4 months, I was surprised that it was done in 7 and 8 months. Of course, you have to be prepared for situations like that. I highlighted some of these in red to let you know about some stories that happened along the way. Besides the electrical counter and the design taking also a couple weeks, electrical counter taking 45 days, I had given a prepayment to a contractor to do the kitchen cabinet. I was under a budget of finishing this for $23,000. It costed me 26, but I lost an additional 1 month here with the kitchen cabinet because he told me he'd be done in 2 weeks and it wasn't done in 2 weeks. Also, I went for the better price. I think the whole cabinets and everything costed me 3,500 gel, where normally it should have costed maybe 6,000 gel. I had a deal with somebody I was already working, but here's the thing. He told me he'd be done in 2 weeks. He wasn't. It took him, I think, a month. And when he handed it over, he asked for his remaining payment. But when I went there, I saw errors, problems everywhere. It wasn't a clean job, and it ruined my entire design, right? I waited a month for the designer to give me a designer apartment. So I got into a fight with him, told him he'd have to redo it again. And next thing you know, when I went out to buy some extra miscellaneous accessories and materials with my contractor, I came back and he had taken off his work, making me roll back another 3, 4 weeks. So 1 month he wasted my time, and another 1 month I had to order things again, replace things, reclash things, and ultimately do it all over again. Fortunately for me, the second contractor felt sorry for me and gave me a good deal. He gave me like a daily rate, not some total price or the way they normally do cabinets. And that brought me to a total of 62,000 gel. And these are all the vendors we spoke to. I've hidden their names and the workers and the shops for privacy, but we throughout this entire project, we basically spoke to 126 vendors. Let's just mix them up there. Like half of them are workers, or majority are shops. A small portion of these 126 were workers. It costed me $22,600. The designer was $1,500. The contractor was $2,000. In total, $26K. Now, for a 33-meter apartment, that's kind of a lot. You can have people finish it in 12K, in 15K, in 18K, but it's not going to look as good as mine does. Mine was Airbnb ready. It's this little cash cow engine I built. So I really didn't mind spending to get it done right, because I mean, you only have to renovate once. And if you renovate once nicely, you will succeed. Now we're going to look into these numbers, but before that, I want to get into some of the lessons I learned here. If you're always expecting renovation to take 3, 4 months, add 2 more months on top. If you're expecting the renovation to cost you X amount, maybe your contractor said it, maybe you received the bill of quantity, maybe you just done your calculation and you feel it's going to cost X amount, also be prepared for 20% increase. This can happen because you overlooked some areas. It could happen because you added things. It could be happening because you chose another tile over this tile. It could happen over many things, even the dollar or gel appreciating, depreciating, a stock running out, and you're going to have to buy materials elsewhere. It can happen for numerous things. Or maybe they all happen together, but totally it reaches 20%. So always remember that. And let's talk about the beautiful part. Okay. The beautiful part about this, well, first let me tell you how it ended up. Let's see if I can get you the Airbnb link. Let's see how it ended up looking. As you can see, it's very Airbnb-ish. Got 16 reviews, 4.94 stars, guest favorite. And here's how the living room looks like. It's very cozy. Since it's a semi-basement, we decided to put a lot of lights, a mixture of white lights, well, neutral lights. I believe there were neutral lights and yellow lights, warm ones. We got a big TV. It can rotate, it could be like this. And we got these curtains in a way that can block the sunlight as well, if you'd like deep sleep. The kitchen is very cute, very small, great for traveling. I guess the max stay I've had here so far is a 6-month rental from Airbnb. Majority are coming day in, day out, going out to the city. You literally walk out and you're in the center. And imagine that I got this for $39,000 and I spent $26,000. I'm in $65,000 for this beautiful thing. I made it a bit premium. See, I didn't put any bad quality cabinets. I made this out of wood. These are all out of wood. Plywood, I believe. And then I didn't want to make it a studio. I also didn't want to close this. Well, the designer didn't want to close this off because we want light to come through here. So we made it a partition with wood, and it's a 1-bedroom here. So not a studio. It's a smart one bedroom, so to say. And here is how beautiful it looks inside. And there's a everything you need here with a lockbox, enough space for your suitcase goes up here, and you've got the clothes here, and a beautiful bathroom, modern, with even your machine. And there's a power outage package here, so you would have electricity if the electricity is off, and a workspace, because I know travelers are mostly digital nomads or people who'd love getting on the laptop and getting some work done. We've added the socket here. Beauty of a designer is they think of everything. And when you walk out, there's a playground. And this is the building. So the building looks nice as well for me. It's not Soviet style. It's a very nice historical looking building. The entrance, it's not the best, but then again, the price was good, location was good. And for traveling or short-term stays or young people, they don't mind. It's only a little bit uncomfortable if you have a senior person, 70 and above. They wouldn't like to be on the stairs. However, for the people and the type of guests I have, it's perfect. So that's that. That was the outcome. Now let's get into the numbers. So my renovation time took 7 to 8 months. My reasons for delay, covered this. The size was 33.33. Price was 1,170. And the purchase price, yeah, we went through this, 39. I put only 11,700 here. The bank lent me 27. And I chose this path because I preferred to put the least amount possible inside the property to take control of it. I mean, I could always pay it off here if I change my mind, right? 27 is not a big amount, but with this 27 I could do a lot of other things, right? I mean, the renovation costed me 26. So with the 27 that I borrowed, I had 26 to renovate. I had more than 26. I invested this in other things such as stocks, crypto, or just keeping a cash reserve, right? So I prefer the finance option if it's available. My monthly mortgage was $332, whereas my principal was $187. I call this your property's piggy bank because a lot of people think that this $330 they pay to the bank, all of it's going to the bank. It's not. Half is going towards your loan. Well, more than half. In my case, $187 of this 330 is going to my loan. So ultimately my equity, the loan's getting less, my equity in the property is getting more. And my bank's profit, which is the interest, is only $136. So I'd love to borrow $27,000 and pay $136 a month to the bank with insurance, another $8 or $9. So that's the way I like to think when I'm borrowing. I'd always want to make sure it's good debt, not bad debt. I mean, if you heard somewhere that taking a loan is dangerous and don't ever take credit, always buy something cash, they ultimately mean don't trap yourself in bad debt, which is money you borrow and the asset doesn't pay for itself, doesn't pay the bank's interest or principal, and you have to end up working to pay it off. That's bad debt. But we like to get in good debt. Now, my renovation and furnishing cost got 26K. Turnkey, it costed me $784. Be wary that this number on bigger apartments is kind of less. It's 550, 450. And also note, so when it's a smaller square meter, the price per square meter gets more big. So this is not what it costs to renovate a 100-meter property. But in any case, it was turnkey, fully furnished, fully equipped, even the utensils, Airbnb ready to rent tomorrow. That's the price it costed me for a small unit. Also, remember, I had to demolish, I had to get an electrical counter. So that did add up to the cost. So my total project cost was $65,000, $1,950 per meter. My cash invested was $37,800. Now let's get into how this performed. My first month got $1K, and I'm like, wow, I already got 3 times more than my monthly mortgage. My intuition of purchasing this was right, even though it was small. That's one of the videos I made earlier. I believe it was in my course and my mentorship program. It's that you can make money in small deals. You can make big money in small deals because your average apartment here, if you buy it for $100,000 or $130,000, you have to pay a monthly mortgage of $1,000 to the bank, and it rents only about $1,000 to the bank. So you're technically breaking even. Yeah, that's very beautiful because your tenant pays off your bank, your mortgage. But in this case, it makes $1,000, and my bank mortgage is $300, which is excellent. It's more than excellent. It's rare. Next month, September, I made 800 and 890. As you see, 1K. I'm going to just here. This was a big one. In January, all the holidays, 1,800. And then I made another big month here, 1,600 in summer. Totally, I made $10,800 in 12 months. My operating expenses was only $1,000. So my NOI, if this was a fully cash paid deal, was 10,000, right? 9,800. So if this was with no bank, just all cash, 65K, I would be making 15% per year. Now, this is specifically a video for everybody who's hungry for the 15, 20%, who says they don't exist anymore. And as I said in my last video while walking in the botanical garden, I said, if you're living here or if you're active or if you're hunting properly, you can still get 15%. But if you want to just throw your dart in any property you'd like, you're looking at 8%. 10% if you did a little bit more thinking and strategic purchase and maybe a discount at the buy. But in this particular deal, I'm getting the money back in 6.6 years. Unlevered, so no leverage. Now, leverage. Let's look at the leverage. After paying the bank, I'm left with $5,800. That's so my NOI minus my monthly, my yearly mortgage. So my cash on cash return, though, if we just calculated how much cash did I put in and how much cash am I actually getting, forget the principal, right? It's 15.5%. Now, let's say, okay, how much cash should I put in? How much cash am I getting? And how much equity am I getting? And how much, the principal, how much profit am I getting from the loan being paid off? It's 21.4%. That's what I love about all of this because you see, it's 5.5% plus an additional 5.9%. So ultimately, you could choose to put $65,000 down and get 15.1%, or you can borrow the $27,000 and get 21%. This is the way I see it. So this is why I choose to do leverage all the time because I love that attribute of putting less cash and getting more return on my money. So let's talk about exit because a lot of people want to wonder how much would I sell this thing, right? I have no reason to sell it. It's printing cash. Not sure if I have another deal this sweet in the center, this small ever again. I mean, they do come by. I say the deal of the century is once a week. And once a week, you can find this kind of deal. But the market cap of Tbilisi is at 8.4%. So the implied value based on what it's making is 117,000. I'm not going to sell something that's making me 15% for 80,000 or 90,000, right? I've had offers I refused. My expected sale range to sell something like this is 3 to 6 months if I want it sold between 100K and 120K. This is now for you to get your bearings right of an expectation of if you were to be sitting in my shoes with this deal, how fast can I exit? And I'd say 120K will take you 6 months, 100K will take you 3 months, potentially earlier, right? But what about the fast sale range? What if I want to exit today and I want to start receiving offers and lots of viewings and hopefully sell it within 1 day up to 30 days? That would be 80,000 to 95,000. So what I want to show you is that even if I want to sell it super fast, I made money because my cost was 65K. If I want to sell it super fast, I can cash it out for 80K, get 15 out, and I'd say, okay, the 37,000 I invested, I got 15 on top. Let's go, move on, next deal. But if I want to say, okay, I'd wait a month, let's sell it for 95,000, then I'd almost make 100% because I put 37 and I got back 30. But ultimately, I'm not in a hurry with a deal like this. And my current position on this property, if I were to sell it in 2026, is $108,000. So that's a little bit more than a double, right? I put 37 and I'm getting back roughly 40, 42, 43. And that's more than a double. So my 40K made another 40K, let's just say. In such a scenario, I would be interested because then I could always branch out and buy two of them. Put 40 here, put 40 there. Otherwise, ultimately, I wouldn't be interested. And I put the date here because I know some people might be watching years from now and start sending me offers on 108. But of course, this is valid for this year only. The ROI to the new owner would be 9.12%. And why it's valid only? Because every year this property price would grow 3 to 4% from natural appreciation and micro and macroeconomic factors like inflation or the interest rates moving up and down here, or the fluctuation in the currency, or maybe I'll get more rent. And in such a case, this is valid only probably for a few months from now. And when I was renovating this, when I had only $15,000 in here, not 37, I was putting it up for market while I'm renovating it because I don't mind. I'm not that emotional for deals. I said, hey, let me put it up for 95,000 as is, designer ready. They'd have to finish it though. But people were giving me $80,000 offers and I was rejecting it. 95 was my target. And I want to tell you that even if you're renovating and you do put it up for sale and it's not getting sold, don't be sad because there's light at the end of the tunnel and you will ultimately find a way to make money. If I were to rent this long term, the people who would rent it would maybe only offer me $400, $450, let's say students, right? So then it wouldn't look that attractive because I have only $330 to pay to the bank. I'd have only $120 profit. So this is purely for Airbnb. That's why before getting into investments, know what it's going to be and what you could make out of it. This is purely an Airbnb cash cow. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video because I want to give you the surprise I have for you. Some of you try to contact me a lot of times, ask me for free consultation. However, I don't like to answer a lot of generic advice. So I put this paid consultation online, €249. And many people do use it, but it's a lot of filter for me to stop people from wasting my time because a lot of people would book these free calls, but they'd never take action and come to Tbilisi or even look around or ultimately purchase a property, right? So I saved my time by putting a barrier so that only action takers come forward and spend my time. And I put it at €249. My time is far more valuable than that, but I just put it as a little entry to make people show me they're serious. And I always say, if you do purchase something in Tbilisi through us or use any of our services, I will give this €249 back. So it's ultimately a risk-free strategy session for those who are serious, because those who are going to buy 100% this place, they will get this amount back, right? It's the same with my mentorships, courses, any of these. If you end up purchasing a property from me, it gets waived. Everything I taught you in the 8, 10, 12 hours around my house, private videos on demand, it gets waived back. You receive this amount back. So ultimately, these prices are anchors to filter out serious people, to the people who are considering doing research. They're not there yet, but they never really come here, visit here, and take action. So that's not what I want to talk to you about, though. I want to offer you something better, and it's free. I want to introduce to you my co-working space in Tbilisi, and I want to offer you a 1 week pass for free. Now, this is a big 2 floor duplex commercial space we bought, renovated, and are currently operating as a co working space. It's filled with people here, and it fits around 180 people. We do events here, and it's a very beautiful space. Let me show you just a bit about what you could expect when you come here. I want to offer you a free weekly pass, and I'm here time to time. So I want to offer you a place to work when you're here on your staycation, workation, or vacation. You'll often find times where you want to get some work done, and what better place to do it than here? You've got an expat community, a local community, a reception that's wonderful and would help you with any questions you'd love, even if it's not work related. And our weekly passes cost 170 gel. I'm offering it to you for free. Come and check it out. I know you might not use the entire 7 days, but I also don't want to tie you down to just one day. I want to offer you this because I am usually here 2, 3 times a week. So if it was a day pass, we would likely not meet each other. But if you do get this week pass, which I'm offering you for free, ultimately we'd be able to see each other, have coffee, have a short talk, and spend some time together. I'd be delighted to meet you and talk about your investment goals free, live, because I know you already took the action and you booked that ticket and you are physically in front of me. And no pressure. Of course, I'm not expecting you to purchase property after our 30-minute chat. But ultimately, I do love building relationships. And I believe in my company, in my business, in my circles, and everything I do, the relationship only really truly begins after the deal. It's not like, oh, let me close this deal or let me do this service or offer this product and bye bye. It's actually just the very, very beginning. Some of my clients, partners, or partner subscribers became clients of mine and then partners of mine. And it's been a wonderful 3 to 5, 6 year relationship. I know their entire family. We go out, we try different cuisines, we talk on the phone all the time. So I believe building relationships is a beautiful thing. And I do want to reward action takers with my time and with things that I have, such as this co-working space. So if you paid attention till the end here, I want to say congratulations, not because you got this week pass, but because you have focus in today's crazy distractions and crazy world of distractions and, short focused doom scrolling with TikTok and Instagram, everything around you to distract you and notifications. It's pretty impressive if you could watch an entire video till the end. So that's what I want to reward you with. Congratulations. And if you'd like videos like this, just, hop on freestyle and talk about numbers and practical stuff and, deals. Comment down below you'd like to see more of this. And if there's something you'd like to ask me, a question about this project or another question, comment down below. I answer everybody, usually a day or 2 days later, but it could take up to a week. But I always answer every comment. So that's it. It's Sana Sanani, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.